And welcome to another episode of Gamerheads. My name is Roger, aka Rogue Leader 76, and with me, as always, are my co-host Blue,
aka Writer's View,
and my other co-host Mike,
aka Pezman Mike.
We have a jam-packed show for you this week. We have a review of Fight of Gods. We'll be talking about today. We have your listener feedback. We'll be doing that. We have a giveaway for Overdriven Reloaded. We have the code for that. We're giving that away live on the show. Well, live for us, but not live for you because it's recorded.
Shh, it's live.
Yeah. It's live. And then our hot topic is about online services. Are they misleading? Are they worth it? Do we get our money's worth? So we're going to be talking about that. But before we get into all of that, we do have our icebreaker this week. And our icebreaker is, what is our favorite celebrity from a video game? So this comes from hot off the heels off of Ronda Rousey. Is that how I pronounce her name? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And she is in Mortal Kombat 11 as Sonya Blade. And I watched a little clip on that. That was interesting. She was like a huge Mortal Kombat fan. I think that might have been one of her first games she said she played. So that was kind of cool. But then we talked about it a little bit and talked about what is our favorite celebrities in games. So yeah, that was going to be our hot topic. And moving right along. No, just kidding. So Mike, do you want to start us off? What is your favorite celebrity in a video game?
My favorite. So I have a few here. I'm going to start things off, of course, with kind of the obvious. Mark Hamill.
Yeah, mine too.
And obviously,
that was on my list too.
But I'm going to talk about a game that probably I know a lot of people say, oh yeah, he's great as the Joker, and of course nobody can top that. But I really enjoyed him in Darksiders.
Yeah.
He was the Watcher in that game, and he just really helped move the story along. So I'm just going to touch on that because it seems like we're going to be talking about him a lot. But I also liked Thomas Jane and Ron Perlman in the game Gun, which was.
I didn't know they were
you're
in that game.
right. I totally forgot they were in that game.
Yeah, that game was so good. Like, this was like before, obviously before even Red Dead Redemption came out. But just the storyline in this game was just so well done, and they did such a great job as the protagonist and antagonist. It was just that was one that I really liked. Another one that I enjoyed was, and this one, these two actually propelled the entire story because the character you played never talked, and neither did any of the enemies. The only voices in this game were these two people. So when it was Dennis Hopper and Billy Bob Thornton in Deadly Creatures on the Wii.
Really? They were in that game? Oh wow!
Yeah. So in Deadly Creatures, you're playing as either a tarantula or a scorpion, and it's not like I heard
There's
a snicker.
Story. Okay.
Yeah, there is a story, and it's not like like they're not what's that word, like anthropomorphic or anything like that. It's just like you are a real life tarantula or a real life scorpion in like the New Mexico desert or something like that, and all you're doing is trying to survive and just move around and everything, and then but these two human characters, there's like a whole backstory behind it because you keep running into them, and they're like some like robbery goes wrong or something like that. But I do remember that they were pretty strong in that game. Those pretty good performances.
Well, yeah, if you needed to have performances in a game, those are two good names definitely to pick. But
yeah,
I've never heard of that game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You play as a tarantula and there's a story. Okay.
Yeah. No.
I heard it was a bad game. I think, wasn't it?
I didn't think it was too bad. I think it was mediocre. I'll
How
give it a
could that
mediocre.
combination be bad? Come on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
The final boss, I remember the final boss battle was pretty fun, but the ending, like the video compression on the ending was just the worst. It was seriously, it looked like a PC game from 1994. The ending scene. But other than that, yeah. But essentially, I think if I remember correctly, like the final boss battle is inside like a gas station in the middle of the desert, and somehow the tarantula, you play as the tarantula or something, and you get the place to explode. It's like,
What?
Of course.
yeah,
you do.
like because like you're a tarantula and like you're fighting you're fighting one of the two guys, and they're like swinging at you, so you just got to jump away at the right time, and they'll hit something else, which will cause like a chain reaction.
So
I don't know, something like that.
the tarantula involves itself in their story.
Yeah, but not by like, oh, these are bad people, I need to stop them. It's just, here I am, it's just all by happenstance.
I see.
I'm not going to try to explain this game because I'm not.
I can't
Sounds
believe
like a
this
good
didn't
game,
catch
Mike.
on.
No kidding, right?
I would,
This is-
yeah. I would
That was
recommend
the
just
top game
going to
on the Wii.
Wikipedia. Jeez, crying out loud. Jeez, I should have started with this game. I'm only going to do one more, and this one, and seriously, if you make fun of this one, I'm just going to hang up.
Okay.
This is Gavin Hammond, and he played the role of Kenny in The Walking Dead seasons 1 and 2.
Okay.
If you ever played Telltale's The Walking Dead game, it's a very emotional story, and the character of Kenny he probably had it the toughest out of everybody in the whole story, and you really felt his pain and everything. And then in the second Walking Dead game, like you like felt bad for him. It was just, he did such an amazing job. Like he was almost two completely different people, because you lose track of him in the first game, and then he shows up in the second, and he's definitely worse for wear in the second game. But Gavin Hammond did an amazing job with him. Really brought the character out. So there you go.
I know. I won't make fun of that game. I won't. But I haven't played it either, so that sounds. The deadly. What was it called? The other one, the deadly. What was the other one called?
Deadly Creatures.
Deadly Creatures. Yeah, I think I heard of that game. I kind of want to play it now, actually. But...
no, you don't.
It might make for a really fun stream, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd have to find it. I think I looked it up a couple of weeks ago. I think there's one used at a GameStop about half an hour away from me.
Oh, okay. Maybe this afternoon I'll have to head over to GameStop and see if they have it.
Well, now that they've got that Far Cry 5 for $15.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that actually I am tempted to pick up. So, what about you, Blue? What is your favorite celebrity in a game?
Well, I can tell you what should have been our favorite celebrity in a game, but now we'll never get it.
Oh no,
Norman Reedus in Silent Hills.
Oh
yeah.
Now I'm sad.
Well, okay, if the show turns sad, then I've done my job.
Yep. Every week, Blue brings us down.
Yeah, Roger. This is why you need, with your sound effect things, you need like the womp, the womp.
Oh yeah.
To throw that in there.
Or
yeah,
like that
exactly.
Sad Charlie Brown music that they have on Arrested Development.
Yes.
Yep. I'm sure that's free domain by now, right?
I'm sure.
So yeah, we won't get Silent Hills, but we will get Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And that will have
right?
that will have Norman Reedus in it and Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah. And still nobody knows what that game's about yet, so.
Yeah, I don't know. The trailers look cool though. We'll see. It looks like there's like aliens involved or something.
Yeah.
Like giant,
I don't know. It's
giant tentacle aliens.
As if there are any other kind.
As if they're, there's the ET kind.
That's true.
Yeah, but that wasn't his final form.
That's true. We never got to see his final form.
Yeah, nobody got ET mad enough that he had to go into his final form.
Well, also he didn't grow up. That would be his final
That's true. I was just going to say the same thing. If he grew up, he might have been evil, so.
Oh, no. Oh, that must be why they never made a sequel.
ET2, The Revenge.
The Revenge. Yeah, and also Mark Hamill was on my list. Just basically anything by Mark Hamill. But apparently the Wing Commanders are quite good, so I'm told.
Yes, they are.
And then also, we must not forget Shaq Fu.
Oh my gosh. Totally forgot about Shaq Fu. Oh
Yeah,
my
Deadly Creatures doesn't sound so bad now, does
No,
it?
it doesn't. It doesn't. I will say he's in. Have you played the new one, Blue? Have you
No,
played the new Shaq Fu?
no,
Okay.
I saw a video of it, and like parts of it look cool, like the cutscenes. Some of the cutscenes look pretty cool, but that's about it.
Yeah. So he makes fun of himself a lot in that game. Like he makes fun of the fact that it's the icy hot, like that he does the commercials for that. Like, which is really funny, but oh my god, like that game is like riddled with inappropriate things in the
Yeah.
game for sure.
Yeah, it seems more like it should have come out in the 1990s than now.
Yeah.
The
So I
humor's
don't
a
think
little dated.
Yes, I was just gonna say the same thing. I'm like, I don't think it plays very well in today's society. It is. I don't know. It was very cringy. I bought it not knowing that was gonna be some like humor in it, and I was playing it.
Oh.
I'm like, oh.
But did you play
really?
the secret levels where
No,
you play as Barack Obama? Like Kung Fu
no, I
Barack
did not.
Obama? I hear those are actually really fun.
Oh, okay. I have not. But yeah, I played. I don't know, up to the first boss at least, and I was like, this is not good.
Shockingly, I can't believe it.
I know, right? For myself, I mean, I just had Mark Hamill. That was all.
That was it?
That was it. Yeah, because like he's so good in Wing Commander. He's so good in Wing Commander in 3 and 4. Like there's 3 Blue. You have to play 3 and 4 because they're so good.
I know.
The story's so good. It's so good. I love it. Yeah, and then and what was what was the game that you said again, Mike? What was the other game that he was in?
Which one?
Dark.
I had Gun.
Darksiders.
And I had
Oh, sorry,
Darksiders.
Darksiders. Yeah. He was really good in that one too. I was really surprised. I didn't realize that he was gonna. When I got the game off of like a Humble Bundle pack, and when I played it, I was like, oh man, that's Mark Hamill. That's awesome. He sounds like the Joker, but it's still cool. So
he does. Yeah, his character did sound a little bit like it, but I was willing to forget that because it's such a good voice.
Yeah, exactly. So, Mark Hamill's my
My obvious unoriginal choice.
Yes, exactly. Are they? I mean, they weren't celebrities, but do you remember when, like the video, like the video motion, like capture stuff was like really popular in video games?
Okay.
Well, like Night Trap was one of the games. There was a there was an actress from the Different Strokes. The actress from Different Strokes was in that in that game.
Yeah, Dana Plato.
Yeah, Dana Plato. That's right. And well, they had Gabriel Knight. Do you remember the game Gabriel Knight at all? The Beast Within, I think the game was called. And he wasn't famous, but man, he did a really good job. I thought, it was interesting because you had actual real actors playing these characters, and it was good. It was good. He if you've never played that game, you should play it. So
that's one thing I was thinking about though, because it's one thing when you have a celebrity in a game and they make the character look just like the celebrity.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's a video game. You can make them look like anything you wanted, and so like that's the part I'm kind of on the fence about.
Yeah.
I think it takes you away from, at least for me, from like immersing yourself fully in the idea of this world when you keep seeing somebody you recognize from the real world.
Yeah. Wasn't there like there was a game that came out, was it The Last of Us or another game that came out around that same time where the character looked like Ellen Page?
I think that was
but
The
it
Last
wasn't
of
Ellen
Us.
Page. Was it The Last of Us? Yeah. And it wasn't Ellen Page that did the voice. And there was a game that came out at the same time, and she was in it along with
I know what you're talking about.
God.
It was like kind of like one of those narrative driven games.
Yeah. The actor that played, he's from Wisconsin too. Can't think of his name right now. He played the Green Goblin in the Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
William Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
He was in the game too. But yeah, you're right. They looked exactly.
I think there
like
were
him.
a lot of people in that game.
Yeah, I think you're right. But they looked. I mean, you're right. They didn't make them look any different. It is kind of weird when that happens because it's kind of like, well, why do they have to look like their character? Maybe if they do like the capture of the facial expressions and they tried, I don't know. But even still, that
don't
I
know.
feel like they didn't have to make it exact. But
Maybe they feel like people will be more interested in it because they recognize the people. Like, sometimes when celebrities do voices for like animated movies and they make their character kind of look like the celebrity,
yeah.
that's annoying to me.
Yeah. No, I agreed. Yeah, and you're probably right. There's some kind of that they can connect with this person more or something. I'm not sure, but really, there's no need for it though.
Yeah.
That one you were thinking of is Beyond Two Souls.
That's it. Yeah, Beyond Two Souls. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I fact
So
checked.
thanks, Mike.
Ooh, for once, we fact checked.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Like it's you're our fact checker. That's gonna be your new nickname, the fact checker. So
there we go.
Yeah. But listeners, what are your favorite celebrities in a video game? You can let us know. You can send us a tweet at GamerheadsPC. You can send us an email, and that's at info@gamerheadspodcast.com. You can also go on Facebook and go to facebook.com/gamerheadspodcast, or you can also go to our website at gamerheadspodcast.com and leave us a comment there as well. All right. With that aside, let's move on to our Gamerheads Newsflash. And I have a couple items here, but if you both have some things that you want to bring up, certainly do so. We could actually go back and forth with these items. So I'll read the first one. I'll read the first one.
He's back, everybody.
He's back. Guess who's back? Soulja Boy is back. And this time, this is from Games Radar. He has a PS Vita ripoff. But I don't know. It feels like that article was posted like on the 14th, so like after our last show, but obviously before this next one. But I went out to the links that were provided in the article, and they're dead links. So maybe that has also died as well. Huh. But my favorite part of the article was a tweet, and this hasn't been taken down. This is still up from Soulja Boy, and the tweet says, "All my fans, send me something." And it's like a link to cash.me/Soulja Boy or something. I will pick a random donator who sends me the largest donation and give you a free Soulja Watch and Soulja console. Tweet me when you're done. And the your is YOUR, not.
Of course it is.
Yeah, of course.
Oh my god.
But I'm gonna read that again.
Legit to me.
I'm going to pick a random donator who sends me the largest donation. That is not random.
No,
but then you get a free Soulja Watch and Soulja console. Yeah. It's free.
Well, you get both of them. I don't know. What if someone sends them like $15? What if it's the highest donation? Might be worth it.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Soulja Boy's probably he's got a real career move here. We need to get him as the next like Billy Mays or something.
My favorite
folks, Soulja Boy here.
I got the Soulja Watch and Soulja consoles.
Yeah.
They're free if you donate the most money to me.
Oh my god, this is like an idiot litmus test. This is like right here. This is like the perfect idiot litmus test. If you actually send him money.
Oh man, but it's like tweet me when you're done. Like, can you send me a tweet when you're done, please, so I know that somebody's sending me some money?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is he hiring for money? What's going on there? I don't understand.
I have no idea, but we need to keep track on this. You need to keep us
him
updated.
On the show. We need to get him on the show.
That's right.
Do you think he would come on our show? I think he would come on our show.
I don't know how much depends on how much you donate to
That's
him.
True. That's true.
I tell you what, you guys, I got $2 in my wallet right now. I will contribute to the Gamerheads donation, and maybe we can get us a Soulja console.
Let me check my couch cushions. I think I got 38 cents and a Chuck E. Cheese token in there or something.
And I got a cough drop, so that would work, right? So
there we go.
We got enough here. I think we can at least get him on the show with all that.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I laughed so hard at that. But yeah, they showed some pictures of these consoles, and like it was weird. It was like one was a DVD player, and this wasn't the PS Vita one. This is like another console he had out there, but it was a DVD player, and like you put in like a DVD of all these games, and you had this little controller that looked like junk, and then you got to play like up to 3,000 games. It was just weird. It was weird. It was weird.
Why video game consoles? Why is he so focused on this? Why not make shoes or something that people aren't going to sue you for?
Well, I guess he's a big gamer. I mean, I'll give him that. I mean, that's kind of cool that he's
trying.
He's trying.
Why not make a game
like, this
then?
is my passion.
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, you can't use consoles only available at CVS as your inspiration.
I think. Can you imagine what his game would be? It would be like, you're out there, you're a video game tycoon, and you're making new video games, right?
No, you're pirating consoles.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
I just figured it would just be a straight code copy of Super Mario Brothers with his face just photoshopped over Mario. The exact same game, even the music and everything.
See, now I was going to ask,
do
you think a game that Soulja Boy made would be better or worse than Shaq Fu? But if it's just Super Mario 3 with his face on it, then it's already better.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's, at least it's Super Mario 3.
Wow.
Okay. Mike, do you want to take the next item here?
Sure thing. And this is from Nintendo.com. This is a public service reminder for everybody. The Wii Shop closure on January 30th, 2019. The Wii Shop channel will close forever. So remember to use up any Wii points that you have saved up. If you have any games you bought but had to delete due to save space, make sure you re-download them as soon as possible, because once that date hits, you will not have access to those games anymore.
Yeah. Cue sad Charlie Brown music.
Yeah, exactly. I do have to get that music. Yeah, that is really sad, isn't it? Like, so you can't add more points right now, but if you do have points, make sure you use them up. And if there were games that you had downloaded before and then you like deleted them for whatever reason and you want to keep them, make sure that you log in and download those.
I found a lot of old ones that I haven't played in a long time that I re-downloaded.
Yeah.
Castlevania The Adventure.
Yeah.
The remake of that.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Target Toss Pro Bags. Oh, I gotta stream that.
What?
There's a game called Target Toss Pro Bags, and it's bags. It's made by the people that did Golden Tee.
Okay.
And it's essentially you're playing
That's
bags.
not too bad then, maybe.
No, it's an awesome game. Like, it's really, really fun. Like, it's gotten really intense. Like, I had it on Christmas, obviously when the Wii came out, and it was like my uncle and my mom and myself and my cousin were having a round, and it got to the point where everybody was quiet because it got really, really intense. But that's a really fun game. But then there's some.
I'm sorry, I got to interrupt.
Go ahead.
You're saying you just play bags like everybody knows what that is? I have no idea. And then I am hearing you say you're playing it with your family and it got really quiet. And my mind is going all kinds of places. So what the heck does it mean to play bags?
Good night, everybody.
I just need some clarification.
You know what?
There's like 10 different names. I think a lot of people call it cornholing now.
Yeah. They don't call it cornholing.
Oh gosh, we are so immature. Basically, it's a game you can have 1 versus 1 or 2v2. Hold on, I'll wait.
Don't call it cornhole.
Roger's fine.
Yeah.
So it's like beanbag toss?
But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all settles everything. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. It's got a lot of names. Oh, here we go.
We're gonna have to cut and come back when Roger's finished.
I think Roger's got a new gig as the Joker now.
Nobody calls it cornholing.
There's a name for that. That's one of the names they use. Actually, they had a
They don't call it
tournament on.
cornholing. They call it cornhole, but not cornholing.
Well, what is the act of playing
But
cornhole?
cornhole. Yeah. Then what's the verb then?
I don't know, but I've never heard anybody call it cornholing.
I don't even call it that. I just call it tag. I don't know. That's people in Minnesota.
Yeah, okay, that actually explains everything.
Oh, okay.
I just threw another Midwest state under the bus. I didn't even know.
All right, come back to us, Roger.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm back.
All right, note to
back.
self: to make Roger laugh, just add ing to a regular noun. See?
Yeah.
It's work. I mean, it's working.
Okay, tell you what. I'm going to go on to the next one. All right.
Yeah, why don't you take the next one?
This is from Nintendo Life. Just Dance, the popular series, is being made into a movie. Sony Pictures Dub Division Screen Gems has acquired the rights to create a film based on Ubisoft's incredibly popular video game series. Screen Gems has also produced Resident Evil movies and the Monster Hunter movie coming out.
Now you can laugh. Now's the time to laugh.
Wow, I imagine this is just going to be really engaging.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to just. I think obviously it's just going to be the name, using the name alone. But I can see it being, like one of those dance movies were popular in the late or the mid 2000s.
Yeah,
like the Bring It or whatever.
I was going to be
other
really
movies
impressed
were.
if you could name them.
I completely forgot. Bring It On. That's the one. But that's more cheerleading. But
yeah, that was
there were a lot of dance off movies.
There was a movie with Richard Gere and Jennifer Lopez. I thought it was called Just Dance.
I don't think that's probably what they're going for.
Yeah.
That movie
it has a guy in a panda suit or something.
Yeah, this is gonna be more like probably along the lines of Bring It On.
Yeah.
I would guess that this movie would be about people at a dancing competition, and now they're bringing it on Just Dance, the movie.
There we go.
I'm gonna say your pitch needs a little work.
Yeah.
The voice is good though. Your movie trailer guy voice isn't too bad.
Yeah. In a world where dancing was just to video games, not anymore. Oh, okay. Sorry. Whew, I'm back.
All right.
Yeah, I'm excited about this movie.
That's a lie. Yeah, that's a lie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not even excited about Monster Hunter. That's getting a lot of hate too.
But the Resident Evil is good.
No, it's not.
So
the first two were okay. The first one wasn't bad. The second one they did a really good job with Nemesis, but after that it just got just worse and worse. Just also they just didn't do any justice to Leon. Wesker wasn't too bad. They did an okay job with Wesker, but Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine was okay, especially when they turned her into Evil Jill. That worked out pretty well. In my opinion, Resident Evil needs to be a Netflix series. It's extremely difficult to fit all that into a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, I suppose it could. I mean, if they really went for it
and just did each season based on one of the games.
And not tried to Netflix it like they do, going off book with stories.
Well, but look at Castlevania. That was a really good series.
Yeah. So they've got one.
Yeah. Well, there's a Tetris trilogy coming out too, so we'll see how
trilogy.
What? Yeah. Is there content in a Tetris game enough to make one show, let alone a trilogy?
No, it's a trilogy. It's about aliens and stuff.
Oh my god.
So, yeah. This is what we're coming to, Blue.
Why is this happening?
I know. I feel like we're in an alternate universe where all these really bad ideas are
somehow getting greenlit.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. I will not probably go pay money to see this movie, but if it comes on Netflix, maybe I'll watch it. So, yeah. The next item here is from Polygon. And so I think, Blue, you let us know about this one. Blue, or did you, Mike? I don't remember. But this one.
No, I think it was Blue.
Okay. The orange kid shirt mom sues Epic over Fortnite's orange justice stance. So the complaint was filed in California court by Rachel McCumbers, the mother of the boy known as Orange Shirt Kid, whose video went viral within the Fortnite community last year. The suit alleges copyright infringement, arguing that Epic copied the dance move named The Random by the boy, the orange shirt boy, and the catchphrase, it's also a great exercise move, but didn't give credit to Orange Shirt Kid. The dance in question was originally performed in a video that was uploaded as part of Epic's Boogie Down contest. So remember that. This is important. While Orange Shirt Kid didn't win the competition, the express purpose of the contest was for the creators to get their own dances in Fortnite. So he didn't win, but many of the supporters pleaded with Epic to include it into Fortnite, and they did. And the contest itself actually has very specific rules, including the fact that Epic can use the dance in their game. And the complaint that was filed made no mention of Boogie Down's contest. So this has no leg at all.
I hate people.
Yeah, I can see one or two red flags in there. Like, how can you assert copyright infringement? Did you literally copyright that dance?
Yeah, no kidding. Like, it's called random because the boy's really literally randomly dancing. There's no, there's nothing. If you watch the video, I don't know if you guys watched the video or not, but it's just a random dance, and it's called The Random. Yeah. Like, there's nothing to copyright there at all.
No.
And so if you did win the contest, was there money?
I didn't say.
The winner of the contest obviously got their dance in the game, but then they also got, I think, like 10,000 V-Bucks. Which is the in-game currency. Which is, but I mean, yeah.
There's no money.
But yeah.
Wow.
But that's all they got. They didn't get any real money. They just got in-game currency.
So essentially, he's like, they named him like co-winner of the contest then.
Yeah,
he didn't lose anything.
He actually, and then that's the crappy thing is that like people reached out to Epic and said this kid needs to be, his dance needs to be in it, and they're like, all right, fine. So they actually did something nice, right? And now they're getting sued by this, woman.
Yeah, here's all it is either the woman or a random attorney sees dollar signs and says, hey, we're not gonna win this at all, but we can threaten them with years of litigation, and maybe they'll just settle just to get us out of their hair.
Yeah.
And that's all this is for. They're gonna try to get a settlement, just to get some cash out of it, and it's just people being jerky.
They should offer a settlement of V-Bucks.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome if they actually did settle it too. If their attorney was so stupid that he accepted the V-Bucks, sure, we'll give you 35,000. Okay, V-Bucks. Oh, like that episode of Seinfeld when Kramer just accepted coffee.
Yes. Yeah.
A lifetime supply of coffee.
Yes. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, just this is getting out of hand. This is so dumb. I just.
Yeah. Yeah. The grass animation in the game looks a lot like my front yard.
Oh, yeah.
So if there's any budding attorneys that want to contact me, and we could take Fortnite to the cleaners with this.
That's all I had for the news. Do you guys have anything else?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
All right, then let's move into our listeners' feedback. And last week we had our icebreaker. Our icebreaker was, what was our favorite video game based on a cartoon, or a favorite cartoon that was based on a video game? So we asked our listeners as well to provide some feedback. So we actually got quite a bit here. Mike, do you want to take the first one there?
Sure. The first one comes from @Hal11K, and they wrote, Earthworm Jim, loyal to the source material and has the best opening theme song.
Earthworm Jim.
So that was one that you mentioned too, right? You mentioned that too, right, Mike? Earthworm Jim?
Yeah, no, yeah. I thought they did a great job with the Earthworm Jim cartoon. Instead of course, keeping everything as close to the game as possible.
Have you seen that cartoon, Blue?
I've seen some episodes, not something I regularly watched. I don't remember it actually being on.
Yeah, I don't either. That's the thing. I don't remember that being on either.
It was on.
Yeah.
It was
not like
very short-lived.
Yeah, I don't recall it ever being on.
Was it on Fox, Mike?
I don't remember. It was either because it was either Fox or it was UPN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I think those are the only two channels that were still showing cartoons at that time, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Blue, do you want to take the next one?
Sure. This comes to us from @CNerdMedia, and they tweeted Captain N. It's old, late 80s, early 90s, but it had several characters in it. Kid Icarus, Mega Man, Simon Belmont, Mother Brain from Metroid, Eggplant Wizard, King Hippo from Punch-Out, and Dr. Wily were regulars, and they always had cameos. One episode actually had the Game Boy in it. I still have to
Game
look
Boy.
up this cartoon. This sounds insane.
Yeah, Game Boy actually became a regular on the show, and I think it's I don't know, halfway through or something like that. And it was very strange, very interesting character.
He was actually the Game Boy system, right? With a hat on.
Yeah, he was the actual system, and his face was green and black on the screen. And
so it's like BMO from Adventure Time.
A lot, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, only BMO had more personality. Game Boy was more like a robotic character.
I sent you guys the link to that first pilot episode. Did you guys watch that at all?
No.
In 1987.
Okay. I rewatched it recently, and I was just when I sent it to you guys, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. I mean, the beginning is that this teenager who's wearing his leather jacket. Why wouldn't he wear his leather jacket playing video games? Yeah. And he's playing Punch-Out, and his dog gets in his face, and he just looks at his dog, and he's just like, "Oh, silly dog." He just smiles, and then all of a sudden it sucks him into the TV, and I'm like, "What is going?" And the dog goes with him. It's so bad. And the other thing I don't like about it is so listeners of the show know I'm a huge Castlevania fan, and they make Simon Belmont to be just a complete jerk, and I'm just like, ugh,
yeah,
I can't stand this. So
I also didn't like I'm like, this doesn't look like Mega Man.
Yeah.
He had to say, and he always said Mega in front of everything.
Yes, he did, and he always talked like Mega Man. Oh, yeah, Mega Man. That's mega cool.
So it looked like Mega Man from Mega Man 1 art.
Oh, that'd be awesome if it was. I don't know. It's just, what I'll have to say. It looks, they tried. I'll give them that. The artists, they tried.
They tried.
Yeah. And then they didn't. And the one thing, and I remember being so angry about this, even when I was 8 years old, and it's and they're like, "Oh, we need help. Go get help, Kid Icarus." And I'm like, his name's not Kid Icarus.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing that they I don't think these people played video games. They're just let's make cartoons based off of video games. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even the beginning where the Captain N, the Game Master, the guy that they suck into this world to save them, he sees the princess, and the camera of course starts in the bottom by her feet and pans up, and he's like, "Whoa, hello, princess!" I don't know, it's just so totally cheeseball. It was just dumb. Yeah,
of course it was.
Yeah,
80s cartoons, man.
Sorry.
A guy wearing a Letterman's jacket would have probably talked to girls before.
True. But then, yeah. A guy wearing a leather jacket back then may not be playing video games set.
Yeah.
Probably not. We're mixing our groups here.
That's not fair to... No, it is. Okay, anyway. The next one that we have here. From Red and Blue Dave wrote, "You got to put Simpsons Arcade in there."
Yeah, that is a classic.
That is a classic. That's a great one.
7-Eleven. They had a Simpsons Arcade at my 7-Eleven.
Oh, yeah. There's a place in Madison, right outside Madison, I should say, and it's a pizzeria, and it's called Rossi's Pizza. I think that's what it's called. And you go in there, and it's you're taken back to the 80s, because everything is the 80s in there. And then they have an arcade in the back room, and they have the Simpsons Arcade game. It's awesome.
That wasn't 80s.
Oh, you're right, but still. Still awesome.
It's inaccurate.
It's inaccurate, but still cool.
Anachronism.
Now you just ruined Roger's pizza.
That's why I'm here. That's why you guys keep me coming back every week.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. I point out the same things. I was watching an episode of Stranger Things in the first season, and they emptied out their backpack and had a whole bunch of stuff in it, and inside was a Jack in the Box Pez dispenser. And I'm like, that didn't release until 1998. I'm like, this is not right. This is not... Like, this didn't take place in the 80s. Not to mention they're getting killed by monsters, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Pezman Mike would know.
Yep,
that's right.
Mike.
I would.
Yep, you should have been the dramaturg.
Never question the Pez man.
Exactly.
They need to have a Pez consultant.
That's
on
right.
set.
We want to
At
put
all
this in there.
times.
Yeah. We want to put this in the movie, but our Google search isn't working right now. So can you? All right. I'm sorry. I was taking that off on a tangent. Go ahead.
Let's see. Mike, do you want to read the next one?
Sure. This came from at the Gorondorf. Short answer, all of them. Long answer, the old Sonic cartoon.
Yeah.
The one
That
with
wasn't
Jaleel
very
White.
long.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good cartoon. I like that one.
That's the one where he eats chili dogs.
Yes. Which did he ever eat chili dogs in the game?
I thought, yeah. Oh, not in the game. No.
In the cartoon,
I don't think he ate anything in the game. The cartoon, he loved chili dogs.
Yeah, weird. Blue, do you want to read the next one there?
Sure. This comes from at the Geek Nerd Pod, and they wrote, obviously, Pokemon.
Yeah, obviously Pokemon. Mike, do you want to take the next one?
At Eros Elric tweeted, I don't know if Netflix's Castlevania, the Devil May Cry and Gungrave anime, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, or the Fatal Fury OVAs count. Going by strictly American animation from the 80s and 90s, I would probably say Mega Man with Captain N the Game Master as a guilty pleasure. That's a good, guilty pleasure is a good way to put Captain N.
Yeah, Captain N. Yeah, that's, I think we talked. Yeah, obviously, I think we killed Captain N enough. Yeah, enough. Yeah, I liked the cartoon when I was a kid. I just can't watch it now. So
I'm trying to remember what some of the video game worlds they visited were. I know they visited a Tetris world in one episode.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying. I just it's difficult for me to remember. They visit. I think there was an episode where they visited Bayou Billy.
Oh yeah, they did. That's right. Yeah, they did. And you remember Mother Brain from? We're going back to Captain N. But do you remember Mother Brain? She was like, "Mother Brain will get you." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, she was. It was like a Little Richard voice type.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but Mother. Yeah, it sounded like Little Richard was Mother Brain's voice.
Creative choice.
Yeah. It was bad. It was
okay. So I need to watch this series, and I am going to review it because I don't have any nostalgia glasses for it.
You need to live stream your reactions when you're watching it.
Yeah. Just the whole time I'll just be like, "What the hell?"
I will say that King Hippo and Eggplant Wizard were like a good like Bebop and Rocksteady clone.
That's true. Yeah, Blue, you do have to watch the series now and tell us what you think. Somebody that's never seen it before, I want to see what their reaction is now.
Get a bowl of cereal.
Yep.
Sit down in front. Yeah.
And then say you'll better understand Mike and I. Yeah, you better understand us as people after you watch that cartoon.
That sounds dangerous, actually.
Yeah. I have learned so much.
This knowledge.
And here comes
I
the
don't
restraining
want
orders.
it. Take it from me.
And then the other piece of feedback that we have here is actually on our iTunes account. So you can actually go out to iTunes, find Gamerheads, and leave us a review there. We would love to hear what you have to say about our show. And this comes from Pod Addict T. And they said, great show. Roger, Blue, and Mike's show is one of the rare gems you're always looking for, but can never seem to find. With expert audio quality, a fantastic collection of games discussed, and great conversation between the hosts, this wholly original podcast will leave you longing for more. Stop reading my review and hit play already. That was really nice.
That was really nice.
Thank you so much, Pod Addict.
Yeah. I'm blushing and everything.
Yeah.
It was special.
Yeah, I was the expert audio quality. That's a shocker to me. So
don't say that. They think we know what we're doing.
Yeah,
I will say I spent a lot of time on the audio, which So I appreciate that. That's a nice comment. So, all right. So yeah, listeners, please provide feedback to us. We love to hear what you have to say about the show. If you have any questions for us, anything. leave us feedback on the show. You can go to iTunes, like I said, and leave us reviews there. That will help us grow as a podcast. And if you love the show and you want other people to know about our show, tell other people about it. But the other way of doing that is leaving reviews on iTunes, and other people will start to know about our show as well. So that's cool. Thank you so much. Okay, so last week we reviewed the game Overdriven, and we had a code to give out. And now is the time that we're going to give out that code. I wish I had a drum roll. I don't have a drum roll, but maybe next time.
Somebody start drumming on their desk.
I could see if I could.
All right, so here we go. So the winner is Bilbo for Fragrance.
Woo!
Yay!
So
Congratulations!
They won the code for Overdriven Reloaded. So that's for the Switch. So I'll send you out the code for that. And then we do have another giveaway. We have a giveaway for
another. You say?
I know, another.
This is just getting crazy now.
It is.
Is it Soulja Boy's console?
It is the Soulja Boy. If you send us, whoever sends us the most money,
the biggest donation.
Yeah, the biggest donation will win an opportunity to win, possibly. No, just kidding.
For free.
For free. This one is for the game Hive Jump, which we also reviewed last week, and that's going to be on the Xbox. And for this one, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. So we mentioned how you can go out to iTunes and leave us a review. Why don't we do this? If you leave us a review on iTunes, send me a message saying that you've done so, and you'll be entered into a chance to win this code for Hive Jump.
No, you're supposed to say, send me a tweet when you're done.
Oh, yeah, when you're done, yeah. Not with a
Make sure you spell your.
Yeah. Send me a tweet when you're done. And and we'll include you into the contest. So we'll have that until so any posts that happen as of 1:20 on our iTunes, which is today when this show is going to go live, to next week Saturday, which is what, the
26th.
This is next week 26th. Thank you. By midnight Central Time. So leave us a review, and you'll be entered in for a chance to win the code Hive Jump for Xbox. And you can also read our review for both games on our site at gamerheadspodcast.com. Speaking of review,
that's a good pickup too, because from what I understand, Hive Jump has been generating a lot of positive buzz lately.
Yeah, that game's.
Thank you, Blue.
That was a good one.
You're welcome.
See, I don't get puns.
I'm always going to applaud a good pun.
No, it's a fun game. And yeah, it's certainly a fun game if you have a lot of friends to play with it too. It's fun playing it by yourself, but man, get a party going together of 4 people. That's a lot of fun. So speaking of reviews, then we do have a game that we're reviewing this week, and the game is Fight of Gods.
I am looking forward to hearing about this one.
Me too.
This will be interesting.
So Fight of Gods, it's a fighting game, as the game suggests, and you get to pick between 11 different characters. I'm not going to say they're all gods, because they're not all gods. And you fight in different areas like you would in any other fighting game. And then if you play the arcade game, you fight through the different battles like you would in any other fighting game. And then you fight against the boss at the end. And yeah. So let me just tell you some of the people that are on this roster.
Yeah,
so
tell us who you played as, Roger.
Yeah.
So I played as Jesus. And there's a lot of controversy around this game. And
you think?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you think?
So each character has their own animation when they appear on the screen, and Jesus he appears on the cross, and he rips his arms off the cross, and he still has.
Oh my gosh!
And his arms are still connected to pieces of the wood, though. And he says something, it's hard to understand because it's the audio is kind of quiet and it's not really loud, but I think he's saying, I've come back to save the people. I think that's what he's saying, which also makes sense in his character, right? Yeah. And so he's got This is just so ridiculous. He's got these big wooden like things on his hand from this cross, right? Like broken pieces. So he uses those as like part of his punching and in his signature move. So like when you so that each character has two signature things. Like one is when you're getting beat up by your opponent. And this is actually one of the cool things I think about the game is that there's a bar that fills up, and once that fills up, then you can hit this one special move, and it does like certain things. Like Jesus's is the resurrection, so he gets like he gets more his health back when that fills up, and then he can like his fists become glowy and his head becomes glowy, and then he can like do more damage. That's one thing that he can do. And then the other one is that he can fill up his bar underneath him when he's doing damage to the opponents, and that's his special move. And his special move is like, I don't remember what it's called, but he's getting like raised to heaven. And if you're in that beam, if your opponent's in the beam, like they're getting hits as he's going up to heaven. Yeah, there's no controversy whatsoever with the game.
Yeah. Well, no, because I think I read that in Leviticus.
I'm pretty sure that's verbatim how it happened.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah, that's if you're standing in the beam when Jesus is getting resurrected, you are going to get hurt.
Yeah, it's the time when Jesus got into a fender bender and then just got into road rage incident and just totally took that guy up with him.
Yeah.
So who else is on the roster?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Okay. Here's another really cool one. This is they have Santa Claus. Santa Claus is on the roster. Yeah, because the god Santa Claus, because everybody,
Okay.
But you can actually have a fight between Jesus and Santa and say who really is the winner of Christmas right there, right? So you got that going for you at least. I don't know. It's such a weird game.
I appreciate how hard you're trying to sell this.
Yeah.
It's not a good game. I'm not.
What's Santa's special move though? Now I'm curious.
Gosh. So Santa, he comes up and he shows up and he's like, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And like, it's just that voice acting is really bad. But I will say, like I said,
shocking.
Yeah, I know. Each character has a special move, and his is he has his reindeer and his sleigh, and they come flying through. And if you're standing if you can't jump over it, you get hit by every reindeer as they drive by. I thought that was kind of unique. And then he also has this ability to teleport where he creates this chimney next to him, and he falls down the chimney or jumps down the chimney and comes up somewhere else. Okay, that was kind of interesting.
You know what though? That's I'll say this. That sounds very creative, and it is the game. Let me ask you this: is the game tongue in cheek, or do they take themselves? Is it kind of like Clay Fighter, where it's just like they know how just silly the concept is, and they're just going along with it, or is it?
I don't know,
because if they're not, because if it's
not like Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think that, here's the thing. I thought to myself, they probably included some of these characters because you get any publicity will get, even bad press will get you publicity, right? So like my thought is that they included Jesus, and they included they also included Moses too. Moses is also not a god, but they have Moses in it. And you can have a New Testament versus Old Testament fight. That's kind of interesting.
Which testament is the best?
Yeah. And Moses's finishing move is kind of cool too, because he has he opens up the 10 Commandments. His opening animation is him sitting there with the tablets, and he's reading it. I'm like, dude, there's only 10 of them. How long does it take you to sit there and read 10 commandments?
Maybe the writing was really messy.
Yeah, maybe. And
they were carved in stone, man.
That's true. And his finishing move is that he calls upon like these waters, and the waters like flood you and like take you up and destroy you and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool. And he does carry the 10 Commandments on his back, and he uses that as a weapon, so he swings that around.
It's definitely, from what you're saying. No, I mean, totally. I mean, legitimately. All joking aside, it sounds like a very creative game. Like taking these these gods from all these different religions and these ancient texts and turning them into fighting game characters. At least from what you're saying, some of these moves and everything sound fascinating.
Yeah, I think they spent too much time on that and not enough time on anything else in the game. Okay. So like the animation and all these characters are super stiff, except for one. one female character. Her name is Sif. She is a Norse goddess, I believe. And I will say there's some animation that's not stiff on her. You can only imagine what that would be.
Don't know. I'm not okay. Thank you.
And which actually, makes it just like, oh god, come on, you guys, seriously. Like, I don't know, it's not good. And then the story, like I said, like it's weird. It's like you play the arcade and it's like it says something along the lines like there's an alternate timeline and these gods are fighting against each other, and then you fight your way up the ranks and you fight against the boss. That's the final boss's name, the boss. It's not Bruce Springsteen, it's just the boss. And it's a invisible like character. Like, I don't want to say invisible, but just like an outline of a character that's supposed to be like invisible, and then he's like, haha, you think you can beat me? And then I beat him as Jesus, and he's like, no, how could this happen? And then it's the end, and that's it. I spoiled it for everybody, but yeah. So the game, like I said, I mean, there are some things that are done in bad taste, especially the aspect of Jesus coming off the cross. The animation is very stiff. There's no real story. The artwork between the loading screens is really good, though. I'll give them that. That's really great. The music is good.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm online looking for a full roster of the game, and this website, their picture of Moses is from the Ten Commandments movie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Charlton Heston. Good stuff.
Yeah.
That's historically
accurate.
That is.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Jesus has abs. I mean, that guy is buff, man. I'll tell you that. Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, I went to school for religious studies, so I feel like I was like the most suited to review this. And also, like, I didn't want to put you guys through some of the pain that I went through for this.
Appreciate that.
I'll have the review up on our website, but it's not a good game. It's not. I mean, you play through it once, and there's no real reason to play through this anymore. I mean, they're not even that first time. What you get when you beat a game is that you can unlock a different color set for the character. So instead of having like brownish hair for Jesus and he's wearing like a cloth around his waist, and that's like a tan. Now it's black. So he has black hair and black sash or whatever he's wearing, or cloth around his waist. It's not a good game.
It sounds like they had a crappy game, and then they thought, I know, if we pull it full of controversial figures, we'll get more attention.
Yeah,
I mean, why else are you going to fight with Buddha? That makes no sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about Buddha. Yeah, Buddha's in it too, and Buddha's like probably the most stiff because it's just a statue of Buddha. It's like the Indian version of Buddha, not the Chinese version of Buddha, and it's just a statue. It's so bad. It's not a good game. It's just not. I mean,
I'm reading online that there's controversy that people are saying, well, how can you have Jesus and Buddha and no Allah or Muhammad? I was like, is that really something you want?
Yeah. So
anyway,
it's bad.
Anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
Now that this awkward silence.
Yeah. The Malaysian government actually banned this game from being on Steam.
I'm not surprised. You think more?
Oh.
Yeah.
Just the Malaysian government?
It can be banned in China too. They like to ban things.
Oh, is it? Yeah. So this game is on the Switch right now. I think it's like $8, and I'm going to tell you, save your money. Don't buy this game. Yeah. Here's the thing. I always look at a game and I think to myself, the first thing I always grade it on is, did it do what it was intended to do? Did they go out and say, I'm going to, this is the kind of game I'm going to make, and this is my intention? And I'm not sure what their intention was in this game. I really think that, like you said, Blue, I think that they wanted to make a controversial game, and that's what this is. I mean, I don't know. Me personally, because I'm not very religious, so I didn't find it all that offensive, but I also understand how it can be viewed very offensively, and it was very offensive from other people's standpoint.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think
it's just poor
it's
taste.
offensive, even if you're not necessarily religious. I think it's offensive because it set out to be offensive.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
I'd have to see more of it, but I mean, in my, I go to church and everything, so I think it doesn't offend me. But then again, I'm just a very easygoing person.
Yeah.
I don't get aggravated by many things unless you mispronounce Kid Icarus or Pitts or something like that.
But or calling Link Zelda.
Yeah.
Yeah, or calling Zelda. Oh, I hate that. It makes me so angry. But I mean, when I first heard about this, I'm like, all right, well, I'll, as long as they're not like, being disrespectful or like making fun of one over the other. If they're doing like a South Park approach where they're just poking fun at everybody, you know. But when I first heard about it, to me, I'm like, all right, well, let's see how this plays out. But if it turns out it's just not really that that good of a game, or doesn't live up to anyone's expectations, then
Yeah.
And I think that's
something that sets out to be offensive first and a game second is just probably not worth anybody's time anyway.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing that I struggle with this game is what was the intention? And like there's no reason, you know what I mean? Like there are games that deal with religion for sure, like not necessarily like our religions, but religion in general, but then you can apply them to like real life, things. And but there's intention.
Well, Jedi is a real life religion.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, no, but I mean, like, I think of like iconoclast. Like, there's certainly like religious aspects there that you can apply to modern deism and say, like, can you like reflect on that and think about like how it affects our real world? And you certainly can, but that makes sense. There's no like rhyme or reason to why anybody would want to play this game, and like there's nothing. It doesn't bring any value to our society or to the gaming culture as whole. And to that, I think that's where it fails as a game. Mm-hmm. So all it set out to do was to offend people, and that's
so. Yeah. Were you given a code for this one?
I was given a code by this one. So, yeah. So I okay, so that's really funny that you said that, because I was playing it and I said, "Hey Tanya, my wife, hey, I want to show you this." I showed her Jesus's animation appearing, and she's like, "Did you buy this game?" And I said, "No, I did not buy this game." And she said, "Why are you playing this game?" I'm like, "Well, I'm reviewing it right now." So yeah, so save your $8, go buy Donkey Kong or Donkey Kong Jr. They're both available on the Switch. Like, those are much better games, even though they're like 30 years old, 40 years old. Those are much better games than this game. So all right, that's what I wanted to review for
now that we got that out of the way.
Let's move into what we're currently playing. And Blue, do you want to start us off? What are you currently playing?
So I am currently in the process of reviewing Smoke and Sacrifice. I'm reviewing that for the Loot Gaming. Smoke and Sacrifice is a open world survival game. Like if you played Don't Starve, you guys know that game? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that, except there's a story behind it. So you play as a woman named Sachi, and at the beginning of the game, you sacrifice your firstborn son upon the altar of the Sun Tree. So it's like a post-apocalyptic landscape, and the only reason that you and your village can survive above ground is because of this mechanical tree called the Sun Tree. It provides light and warmth, allows you to grow things and keeps the monsters away and that kind of stuff. And so in the village, everybody has to give their firstborn child to the Sun Tree. Huh. And then the Sun Tree like zaps it with a beam and it disappears. And so then 7 years later, the Sun Tree fails and the village gets attacked. And so Sachi, she goes to the temple and finds clues that things are not as they seem in her life. And so you end up going on this journey to see if your son is still alive and to see if you can rescue him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of That's kind of dark.
Yeah, it is kind of dark.
Well, as a middle child, I'm okay with this.
Well, as an oldest child, I am not.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm the oldest child too. I don't know if I agree with this. But it's interesting because like we just got done talking about Fight of Gods,
I know.
right?
I was just thinking that. I was like, hey, in-game religions.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally did this on
Yeah,
purpose.
exactly. Like, yeah, it's good timing. So what is this game? Is this like how they have that stylized artwork for Don't Starve? Is it similar to that, or how's the artwork in this game?
This game it's hand-drawn animation, but it's almost like I don't know, I guess I don't know how to describe it, like paper dolls in a sense, and that's probably going to give you all the wrong visuals, but it's a little bit like the characters don't move a lot, like their faces don't move. You've got a face and it just kind of stays static the whole time. Does that make sense? It probably doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, I think I can visualize what you're saying.
So it's almost like you've got paper dolls that you are guiding around the world.
Okay.
Sort of. So
Okay.
yeah. It is brutally difficult.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah, it is brutally difficult. You have to go around and you forage things for food and healing items, and so you can craft weapons and armor. And of course, there's monsters freaking everywhere. And then the game has a day-night cycle that each one is about 5 minutes. But the thing about the night cycle is there's smoke. So at night, the whole world fills with smoke. And if you breathe it, or it gets, too much of it, then it takes away your health slowly. And so and the monsters get stronger during the smoke cycles. So you have to always prepare for that. And basically at the very beginning, it's just suicide to go out into the smoke. You just need to find a safe place and stay there. And what it happens, at least my experience, is that means for fully half the game, I'm just sitting there waiting for day to come.
Wow.
And yeah,
that doesn't sound very fun.
No, not.
I mean, it's only 5 minutes, but still, is there anything you can do during that time, like craft or anything, or no?
Well, you can if you manage to find stuff.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it hard.
So what it kind of is for me so far is that I just spend my whole time crafting and foraging just to stay alive, not even to make any progress in the story. I feel like I can't forage to get ahead of the survival curve.
Wow.
So that's just kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, that wears down on you too. So
yeah, if I was playing a game purely for fun, I don't think this is where I would look. But who knows?
Yeah.
I still need to finish it. Maybe it gets better.
Yeah, I hope she finds her son alive. That's my
for first children everywhere. We want there to be a happy ending.
Yeah,
that's right. Nice. Are you playing anything else, Blue?
The other game I played this week, I played it for a friend, Retro Game Brews. He's doing his second season of the RGB High Score Challenge. And this week, the challenge is Final Fight 2 on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
And I had never played it before. So it's because people have been posting their scores, and some guy was like, yeah, I just played through the game, beat the whole game without ever losing a life. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so doomed. So people are posting scores well over 1 million. And I managed 600,000, I think.
Oh, that's good though for your first time.
I thought so, considering I don't play beat 'em ups really. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that is really good.
But I was playing as Maki, and of course, when you die, it shows her there tied up, and the water is rising. And if you don't continue, she's gonna die. I was like, geez, that's a lot of pressure on me. Good Lord. I thought that's so graphic. Yeah, exactly. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I think I was watching the True Donnie G. Is that who that is? Right. I was watching his streaming of that, and those guys are really good at that game. And I'm like, oh man, I want to participate too, but I'm not good at this game.
No. Hey, throw up a score. I'm sure you can beat me.
No, I don't know, Blue. Have you ever seen me play games?
Oh.
Although I did beat the boss with Jesus, so
Well, see, there you
there's
go.
that.
If Jesus is on your side.
That's right. That's right. Cool. Anything else?
Those two.
Those two. Okay. What about you, Mike?
So I played some more Pokemon Go and Pokemon Let's Go. I'm at this point where I just want to blaze through the story so I can move on to the next game. At least that I can say I played one game in its entirety throughout throughout 2019. So as long as I can play at least one game throughout its entirety, I got this Octopath Traveler just staring me
Yeah.
down, just saying, "Hey man, when are you gonna pick me
Yeah.
back up?" I'm like, "Let me finish my Pokemon adventure, and then we'll talk." Of course, still playing Pokemon Go. I actually met somebody at work that played it as much as I do, and she had a Kangaskhan, and which is like, okay, so, but it's only available in Australia.
Huh.
So I brought it home and I showed it to my son, and he just absolutely flipped out. He's like, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, "I'm not telling you."
Wow.
Because.
But no, yeah.
So did you trade for it then?
I tried to, but
okay.
it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't. I guess
Oh.
once you trade it, it couldn't be traded again. So I'm actually bringing his phone to work now, so that I could trade with that person at work because she has like 4 or 5 of them.
Okay.
So, and then other than that, I've been playing some more Battle Princess Madeline on the Switch, which is a Ghouls and Ghosts clone. And I love the story behind it, behind the making of it, how the developer and his young daughter worked together on the story, and the design and everything like that. And to say that this is a Ghouls and Ghosts clone is 100% true. I mean, this is somebody who didn't know any better could say, "Oh, look, it's a new Ghouls and Ghosts game." The music sounds like it's a Sega Genesis game. I'm having a lot of fun with it so far, and I will have a review up shortly at GamerHeadsPodcast.com.
Nice. Anything else?
Survive in real life. Other than that, Night in the Woods. I played Night in the Woods, but not the video game. I played Night in the Woods in real life, camping during a snowstorm. Hooray!
Yeah, that's fun.
He was
That's
playing
good
Don't
times.
Starve in real life.
Yeah, you are. For myself, outside of Fight of Gods, I've also been playing Mages of Australia, and it's also a game that I'll be reviewing. So I'll mention more of that next week during our podcast. I'll give a review of that, and then I'll have a write-up as well next week. But I will say that I'm enjoying the game so far. I can talk about it too, by the way. So I'm not under embargo. I can actually talk about it. So, but yeah, it's a good game. It's interesting because there's also aspects of religion in this game too, where you're a young girl who is bestowed upon her magic from the sky, and magic has been kind of outlawed in this world, and she accidentally burns down her village. And
oops, as one does.
Yeah, right, exactly. And now she's learning how to wield this magic, and she's learning about the eclipse that's going on, and bad things are happening, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. So the art style is really cool. It reminds me a lot of like Wind Waker, because it's kind of that hand-drawn art style. And the other really cool thing about this game is that there are mechanics where you can design your own spells. So you learn spells and you pick up different trinkets, and you can kind of mix them and match them and like create different spells for it. So it's cool. It's really neat.
That's cool.
It is really cool. So I'll talk more about that next week, but I'm about 20% through the game right now, and I'll have it finished by next week, but I like it a lot. The other game that I've been playing, I've been playing a lot of Smash. So continuing collecting spirits on that. And then I did pick up Night of Symphony of the Night. So I'm a huge Castlevania fan. I never bought it though. I never had that game. So I picked up the PS4. Came with what was the other one? The Blood.
Rondo?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Blood
that
Rondo.
one.
Yeah, thank you. and Symphony of the Night. So Blood Rondo must come right before Symphony of the Night, huh? Is that
Yep,
true?
I think it was a
Okay.
Genesis game, if I'm not mistaken.
And so I played. I mean, I didn't play much of it. I maybe played an hour of it, but I enjoyed it so far. I like it. I didn't realize there was a lot of role playing aspects of the game, so I really like that. And what else have I been playing? And then some more Spider-Man. I played more of Spider-Man and through the story with that, so I played that. So I love Spider-Man, and I will be picking up the DLCs when I'm finished with the story. So
No, I'm sorry. I just let out an exacerbated sigh because now I think I'm going to put Octopath back on the shelf after, because I've got Spider-Man also and I never played it.
Oh yeah, it's really good, Mike. I did play a little bit of Octopath as well. I played an
Oh,
hour
you
of it.
did?
I
Oh, nice.
did. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh gosh, I am really in. I've been playing a lot of like RPG type games. So I played Octopath, but I'm still in the area where I just need to grind, and I found an area where it's just an area for me to grind. So I've just been grinding, trying to level up my characters. And then I also played Disgaea 1.
Oh.
Blue. I'm not as far as you, Pod Blue, but I did play it. So
Yeah, I told my editor that I was like, I'm not gonna finish the game. I'm gonna play it till the end of January, and wherever I am, I'm gonna review it.
yeah,
So
it's a long game.
yeah. And the
When you
jumps in difficulty are just like insane.
Oh, really? Because I've only played a little bit so far. I'm only in the beginning.
Yeah, it's like
so.
you'll be going through the levels and like, okay, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Holy crap, what happened?
Yeah, really?
Yeah, like you got hit by a Mack truck. It's just like, yeah, it's not a gradual ramp up whatsoever.
Wow. Yeah, so I'll be diving into that some more too. So, all right, that's what we've been playing. So we'll do this. We'll take a break here, and then when we come back, we will get into our hot topic. And our hot topic this week has to do with the online services, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But Sony's getting actually sued over the online services, and we'll talk about if the online services are misleading and if they're worth our money for paying for them. So stay tuned. And welcome back to Gamerheads. This week, we are talking about the hot topic about online services. First of all, are they misleading? And secondly, are they worth the money that we're actually paying for them? So this topic actually comes from an article from Game Rant. And in it, the article stated that Sony is fined 2 million euros for misleading players about the PS Plus. The Regulatory and Competition Authority, AGCOM, I don't know what that stands for. Do you guys know? It must be some, I don't know. Anyway, they say that Sony isn't being quite straightforward enough when it comes to informing consumers of its online subscriptions, PlayStation Plus, and it's being that it's required to play certain games. So I thought that was kind of weird because I don't know. I guess that's the first place I wanted to talk about. Do you feel that Sony or other online services, for that matter, are misleading when it comes to the fact that they're required to play these, to play games online? You need to have these services. Do you think that's Do you think that Sony is misleading about that, or Xbox, or Nintendo, and why? If so,
Okay,
why?
quick point. AGCOM, I Googled it. I don't know what it means because it's an Italian website.
Oh, okay.
There's that.
Okay. Some kind of regulatory and competition authority of some sort.
I do think that there is a trend towards not being upfront about costs in the video game industry, or just being upfront in general. Like, for example, the first thing that comes to mind is like when you buy an Xbox or like a Ni no Kuni 2 of all games, before you can do anything, you have to agree to their terms and services. But it's like, what are you going to do? Are you going to say no and waste the $60 or the $400 you just spent? You can't return it. So, sorry, I think that's a bunch of crap. If you want people to agree to your terms and services, they need to do it at the time of purchase. so that they actually have a legitimate chance to say, no, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. What about you, Mike? Do you think that these online services are being misleading?
Yeah, I'm not gonna follow that because that's like one of the most intelligent arguments I've ever heard. That and anything I say after that is just gonna be stupid. No, I honestly, as a gamer and someone who follows the industry, for myself, I don't think it's misleading only because I do my research. But I would imagine to the general audience that aren't even aware of some of the stuff that they're signing up for, some of the stuff that they need to sign up for, I can understand that thought process on that. I think that while yes, like, so for PlayStation Plus, for example, you have access to certain games to play online, and you get your PlayStation Plus games. It used to be you used to be able to get a lot more for your dollar. Back in like the Xbox, like the 360. I don't know if any of you ever played 1 versus 100.
No.
If you had Xbox Live,
No.
so this was incredible. This was a service that they provided. Do you remember the game show 1 versus 100, where there was one person being asked the questions and there was 100 people in like the mob,
Yeah.
as they called it?
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
was an interactive game show. So like thousands and thousands of people would show up for this online, and you were either in the audience, you were picked as the one, or you were picked to join the mob, and you actually competed for Xbox Live currency. And obviously you
Wow.
could, yeah, and it was an incredible, for Don Matrick, for all the terrible things he's done to the Xbox brand. I think he was in charge of this, and this turned out to be a lot of fun. So it's that, and of course, you needed an Xbox Live subscription in order to play that. So that was like a benefit aside from the usual stuff that you got. But I think that I don't think that we need to be spending this much money, especially when you look at PC gaming and it's free.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point. I mean, and that kind of ties into my next item here too. But I feel like it's. I think I'm on the same page with you, Mike. I feel like I know enough about games that I know I need to have it online. If I want to play these games online, I have to have a subscription. Like, it's just become the norm now. But because even now Nintendo has jumped on board with that, obviously, with their online services. Although, when they first came out, they had that for free for a full year. You could play like Splatoon and Mario Kart for free online against your friends. And I think that's a hard sell. We kind of talked about this before in another episode, but it's a hard sell to somebody to say, "Oh, remember what you were doing for free? Now you have to pay for
but
that."
at least with the Switch
it's a
so
hard
far,
sell.
you can decline signing up for that and still play
Yeah.
the rest of your games perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some games are even free, like Fortnite. You don't need the Nintendo online subscription to play online.
Yeah. Well, that's the same with Sony, and I'm assuming with Xbox too. And that was my next question. Do you think games that certain games like Fortnite that don't require an online subscription actually hurt Sony and Xbox and Nintendo and their online services because of the fact that you don't need to have the subscription to play those games? And do you think other companies will try to follow suit to say, hey, we want to make this a free game to play online. We don't want to be tied to your online subscription.
If there wasn't some other agreement that existed between Epic and Sony that that compensates, because it's a good strategy on Epic's part, because the money that people are not spending for online services for Fortnite, they're going to spend on in-game purchases. And so Fortnite stands to make more money in the long run. And I would bet you some of that goes back to Sony. Because, otherwise Sony could just say, we're not going to support games that do that any longer. It would be really easy for them to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, well, and it's weird because, I mean, we talked about this too, where with the Switch, the online service, if you sign up for it, you can download the app and then you can talk through the app, right, on your phone.
That's the idea.
Yeah. It's weird, but with Fortnite, because one, it doesn't go through the Switch Online, the Nintendo Switch Online service. They actually have it where you can actually plug in a headphone with a mic and be able to talk in game on your Switch. That's the only game that they allowed that for. And
Yeah,
and if
that's really weird why they don't just do that.
yeah,
It makes me wonder why do we have to go through your app? What are you doing with the chats?
well, and it makes me also think. I mean, Epic obviously has a lot of clout now, right? And I don't know. I mean, my question is, do you think other companies will follow suit? I don't know if there's other companies that have this kind of clout that they can actually tell a publisher or a system to say, this is how we're going to do it. If you want our game on your system, this is what you're going to agree to. It's a weird thing, but I personally think that kind of hurts their online subscription, because if your main game is to play Fortnite and you're playing it for free online, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to play other games, and the first party games won't allow you to do that. You have to pay a subscription. Why? I mean, it makes people question, like, well, why do I have to do that for your games, but I don't want to do this for the third party game? That doesn't make any sense.
Awkward silence.
I don't know. What are your thoughts, Mike? Yeah.
Again, you know what? I think that they're that Epic is at that point, because it's so huge now. They say, hey, look, you want this on we want this on your system, but we don't want to force people to have to pay an online subscription. We'd rather force them to pay for these skins. So I think that they're showing, like, especially with how many people play those games, they're showing that we don't need a paid online for any games.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
When Starbucks goes to open a new store, their business model is not to buy property, it's to rent, but they show up at your place to rent and they bring their own lease and you take it or leave it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's so bizarre. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's a good business model. I mean, especially since you have that much clout, you can do that, right?
Yep. So Epic is Starbucks.
Yeah, Epic is the Starbucks of video games. So do you think, though, that so part of the online service subscriptions is now that they're trying, a lot of these companies will throw in the fact that you get free games along with the service, right? So Sony, you get was it one or two games, one game for the PS4, one game for the Xbox 360, and one game for the PS Vita, but I think a lot of them have the cross-buy compatibility between the three.
They have a few where they do two games, things like that. Yeah.
And Xbox now, you can play Xbox 360 games on your Xbox One, and so a lot of the games that they'll give out, you can play both on your, you can, if you have just the Xbox, you can still get the subscription and just play the Xbox games. But if you have Xbox One, you can get the Xbox One game and the Xbox 360 game. And usually they'll offer like one game one half of the year, or one half of the month, another game in the other half of the month. And then Nintendo now has their online service every month that you can go and play whatever games they're offering as part of their service. Right now they're all Nintendo classic games, but a lot of them have like been altered to make them different.
Put training wheels
right?
on them.
Yeah, exactly. Do you think that with the games that you get for these services, do you think it's worth the subscription? So I think Sony's is like $17 every 3 months. Xbox's is like, what is it, like $10 a month or something like that, and Nintendo is $20 for the year.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's worth it because you are getting more games for your dollar. Now, granted, probably half those games are games that I probably wouldn't think twice about getting.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. I mean, if Sony didn't offer PlayStation Plus games, I probably would not buy a subscription.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't play enough online games on the Sony.
Yeah, like 2005, I was up dusk till dawn playing Halo 2. So yeah, that's all I played were competitive games. And then Call of Duty 4 came out, and I just listened to the way people talked, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to deal with this ever again. So I don't play. I prefer cooperative
Yeah.
games online, which is why I got Diablo 3, another game in my backlog. But I don't. I'm not much to play competitive games, so I don't honestly need the subscription. But the free games are what's keeping it afloat for me.
Yeah. What about you, Blue? Do you have subscriptions?
No.
No. Okay.
No. And I think because it's always felt a little bit like cable TV to me.
Mm,
Like we're gonna dangle this one that you want in front of you, but what we're really gonna do is stuff the service full of like 90 things that you don't want and will never use.
yeah. That is
That was
true.
a great comparison. That was awesome. Man. You are on fire today, Blue. I gotta tell you.
Oh yeah.
Man, Blue, you're making me feel bad that I'm actually paying money for these services.
Well, the way I look at it is if I took the money that I would be putting towards the service and then bought something I actually wanted, then it's worth it.
Damn it. That is a good argument because
That's
it's so
this
fun.
week's episodes of Gamerheads.
Yeah, we're done. No, it's funny because I have all three subscriptions. I have Xbox subscription, a PS Plus subscription.
It's a
And
prescription. My doctor requires it.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly. Sorry, I had to play video games. And a Nintendo Switch online subscription. And I also have the Game Pass for the Xbox, all thinking to myself that I won't ever have to buy another game because look at all these games I can play. And then, yeah, I still go out and buy games all the time. And yeah, it's probably, yeah. And I know, Mike, we talked about this, but our online, like, because of the fact that we have PlayStation Plus, I mean, I have easily over 500 games. My Xbox, I made my PS3 or PS4 like between both of them, easily 500 games because of the fact that I just either bought some because they're on sale or because I'm getting a bunch of them for free every month. And the same thing with my Xbox. I mean, I don't have as many games, but I certainly have a lot of games that I haven't even touched yet because of the fact that I'm like, oh, I just haven't touched it yet. So
Yeah.
It's just adding.
Just adding to the backlog that you're never going to get through anyway.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, you make a good argument there, Blue. Save your money and buy the things you really want, or you could say, "Oh, I'm going to spend money on the service."
It's
and
your
get games
money.
That I might want to
You
play.
do what makes you happy with it.
Well, then, what do you? My last question here: do you feel that online services are overpriced? And who do you think offers the most value with their online services?
I think a lot of things are overpriced. There's really not much. Actually, you know what? Yeah, for something that should be technically free for paying for online play, I think yes, it is overpriced. But I think with the amount of games that we're getting, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with paying the $60 for the year for PlayStation Plus. But I usually wait until they have a sale that I can get it for like 40 or 50.
Yeah.
So
Blue,
yes and no.
Yeah. No. I guess my question, Blue, what would entice you to sign up for a subscription?
I don't know because I mean it's like I was just saying, my backlog is enormous and it's never going to go away. And so I think that I don't know, I would just need something, and it probably wouldn't be games, but it would be something else that would add so much value to the experience that I couldn't turn it down. I mean, I did subscribe to Nintendo's online service, and while there's not a lot of games on there now, I have faith that as it grows, it will just grow in value. Especially if they start adding, once they get beyond just the Nintendo onto Super Nintendo and GameCube.
Can you imagine Super Mario Kart with online play?
Oh my god, that would be so cool.
Yeah, and especially with this leak about the potential titles all coming to the Switch soon. Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would pay
Yeah, there's
$20
like 15 or
just to
something like
play
that.
Super Mario Kart online. That's all I would need.
So out of all the services that are out there, who do you guys feel are providing the best value to the customer?
I'm gonna still say Nintendo because I
Yeah.
mean, oh no, that's okay because like with Sony, you don't have to subscribe to the PlayStation Plus, but you still have to pay $60 a year. At least with
Yeah.
Nintendo, you don't have to do that. You can leave it or take it, the online service.
Yeah. That is a good point. And the other thing that's great about the Switch, I would say, is the fact that even if you don't have online service, if you have friends that have the same game and you're in the same area, you can all play online with each
That's
other.
true. Yeah.
Well, online, I mean like local Wi-Fi.
I'd say I'm still good with Sony's. I think that there's, with the amount of stuff that we get, so there's not only do you get the free games, but then there's also like certain for like Warframe. I think you get a PlayStation Plus pack, add-ons and things like that. But I'm okay with Sony's. The only thing that aggravates me about it is that you have to shut off auto renew. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you have to do that with Nintendo's too. I think you're automatically turned on to auto renew with Nintendo's, and you have to go in and manually shut that off. So, PSA listeners, if you don't plan on renewing your online subscription service, make sure you turn off auto renew.
Yeah. I would have to lean on the side of Nintendo as well. For me, $20 a year is really cheap. And this sounds so bad, but I guess for $20 a year, I'm not expecting a whole lot. That sounds bad, but
yeah.
Well, for something that used to be free, you should expect a lot.
Yeah, that's true. But I would guess I'm pleasantly surprised when I see like, oh, cool, they included Ninja Gaiden, and if they start offering like Super Nintendo games, like we've been talking about, or GameCube games and N64 games, like to me, I think that would be well worth my money. And I've enjoyed playing some of those old NES games, but I don't know. I guess I just feel $20 for the full year. I that's not going to break my bank. And I just feel like that's going to be the better service. But it's also the weakest service in regards to what they're offering outside of games. So
the way I look at it with Nintendo is because I don't play online with anybody anyway.
Yeah.
So the way I look at it is I'm paying the $20 a year for the retro games.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at it too.
Yeah, no, I have intentions to play online, but I just never do.
It sounds like you have intentions to play a lot of things.
I know, I do. That is a problem I have.
Well, the first step is admitting.
Yeah, that's right.
Roger has grand ambitions.
I do. I really do have grand ambitions. It's just the fulfilling those visions are just anyway. Listeners, I guess. Yeah, thanks. This is how this show's been so far. So, listeners, tell us what you think. Do you think the online services are misleading? Do you feel like there's a good service behind them? Do you feel like one service does better than the others? Do you download the games? I mean, I know people that buy the PlayStation Plus subscription and they don't even download the games that they're supposed to, not supposed to, but they get with the service. It's just that they feel like it's not worth their time. I guess my question is, do you feel like that you don't download those games? Do you just not download them? Do you download them? I guess what are your thoughts? You can send us a tweet at GamerheadsPC. You can send us an email at info@gamerheadspodcast.com. You can also go to our website at gamerheadspodcast.com or go to Facebook at facebook.com/gamerheadspodcast. All right. Before we head out, then, how can people get a hold of you? Mike, how can people get a hold of you?
You could find me on Twitter. I'm at TC Throwers for the Controller Throwers podcast, which you can also hear right here on GamerheadsPodcast.com. You can also find me on twitch.tv/TC Throwers.
Cool. And Blue, how can people get a hold of you?
You can almost always find me on Twitter. My handle is at WritersView, and it's spelled with a Y, so WRY. And then I also have a website, which is writersview.com.
Great. And listeners, like I said before, you can get a hold of us at Gamerheads at GamerheadsPC. Email at info@gamerheadspodcast.com. You can also go on facebook.com/gamerheadspodcast. Yeah. So, Mike, thank you so much for listening to the show. Listening to the show, sorry.
Oh. Wait a minute, I never listened to the show.
How did I
get
you so much for being on the show. Oh my gosh.
Always a pleasure.
Long weekend. And Blue, thank you so much for being part of the show.
You're welcome.
And listeners, thank you for listening to our show.
Don't forget to go leave a review on iTunes and be entered to win a copy of Hive Jump.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for reminding me of that. So yeah, go out. I'll put a link in the show notes so you can go right to our iTunes site and leave us a review there, and just send us your tweet when you're done. Yeah, thank you so much for listening to the show. We really appreciate all your support, and it really helps us with continuing growing and giving us feedback on our show as well. Helps us grow. So thank you for that. All right, until next week, we will talk to you then. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So long.